thank you for joining us for this week's Ministry Forecast. Ministry Forecast is brought to you by His Word Broadcasting, and I'm Aaron Taylor. I'm the pastor of Crossfire Ministries and host this program for them. Today, we're actually going to be talking about a ministry that is a part of Crossfire. It's Rescue Riders, and this is Kevin Morley. And Kevin, tell us a little bit about Rescue Riders, about your vision and heart for motorcycle ministry in Lane County and in this in our area.
Well, so I believe about 6 years ago that God laid a burden on my heart to use our motorcycles in a ministry in such a way that nobody else is doing. I feel like there are a lot of people out there that love motorcycles. They want to be a part of anything that has to do with them, but yet they're not involved in a church. They don't have pastors as such. And so I really felt like this was an opportunity through Rescue Riders, which is a name that I founded. It was just an opportunity to be able to reach out to people that don't normally step foot inside of a church or ever speak with a pastor. Most of them won't even, call a prayer line just because of the lifestyle that they live. And so felt like God gave me this burden to take it to a different level than I had been involved in before. So about 5 years ago, I opened a shop downtown Springfield called The Rescue Shop. I had been a longtime rider with Bikers for Christ, and we stepped away from that and laid our patches down and moved on with what became the Rescue Riders. And then I met up with Aaron, and he's had a desire to have a strong motorcycle ministry out of Crossfire, and it just melded together. I felt like God was in it 100%. And so here we are now almost 3 years later.
Yeah. And that one of our aspects, and you and I have had a heart for, is not only having Rescue Riders here, but allowing each church to have a Rescue Rider chapter, reaching out to the people that they have relationships with. And so we would welcome any church that wants to get involved, wants to be a part of that. We have a Motorcycle Sunday. It's a powerful, every year it's been a powerful event. You'll see some clips and things of past Motorcycle Sundays and rides and different things that we've done. But there is the reaching out to what they call 1 percenter.
Yes.
Can you explain what a 1 percenter is?
A 1 percenter is an outlaw biker. Basically, if you join one of the major clubs that people are familiar with, whether it's Free Souls, Hell's Angels, Gypsy Jokers, Brother Speed, they're all what they call 1 percenters. Most of them will carry a tattoo on their bicep or their forearm that says 1%. They believe they are the 1% of the world that is the worst or meanest or baddest out there. They are into everything except God. However, we found that on our motorcycles, they will actually speak to us and want to know about us, and it opens a door that allows us to reach their hearts.
So part of our heart is to always be open to them, but also to the recreational rider, the person who they may be a lawyer, a doctor, or a ditch digger, and they just love motorcycles. They love to get out on the road, to fellowship together, and to be able to bring them into a place where they can be a part of a church, have people they can talk with, and not be a part of just one church, but this being a unifying factor with anyone who goes to church. And there are some good clubs out there. What would you say your vision and heart is that's different than some of the other clubs, which we are all friends with and love dearly?
Right.
The people who ride in there and the people who lead that. In fact, one of my old youth pastors and a guy that we've seen grow immensely is now the president of one of the clubs. But with that, what is your vision? And this is definitely a work in progress of the growth and where we would be maybe a little different.
Well, number one, we're a ministry and not a club. the clubs are set aside. They aren't nonprofit. They're not religious. They have their own bylaws. You pay dues. You basically buy your way into a club, sometimes through works that you'll do for them, criminal activities, etc., that gain your respect so that you can be accepted in.
Now, I'm going to make this clear, not the Christian clubs.
No,
Okay.
these are, like you mentioned before, the big names, the Hells Angels and so forth. And we love them all, but the difference is we're not that kind of a biker ministry. I would hope that there aren't any ministries out there with bikers that lean that direction. But we have the opportunity, and it's my vision, to not only reach those 1%ers, not only reach people that are just bike enthusiasts, but also all of the people out there that have a bias towards bikers. We try and look and dress the part, and it opens a lot of doors. I mean, just yesterday, I pulled into Walmart, and I'm driving through, and I'm disabled, so I actually have a handicap sticker on my bike. And this elderly lady that's handicapped, she gets out, and she looks, and I can tell she's looking at my sticker, and she's like, "Seriously?" And so it opened the door. I pulled up, I talked to her for about 20 minutes, and turns out she's a good Christian lady, and she hated bikers all of her life, and because she was told they were just horrible people. And by meeting me, she had an opportunity to realize that we're not all that.
Right.
We're good people out doing good things and just trying to make a difference for God.
Well, that's awesome. So now, in being a ministry, how could somebody, get involved, get in contact with you? How would that be the best way to do that? They could do it through sending an email to Crossfire, obviously,
Right.
and any other ways?
Well, all of my information is on the website. You have to look a little bit for Rescue Riders because we have so many ministries here at Crossfire, but we are on there. Obviously, I'm on Facebook, just my name, Kevin Morley. And
so they can go to mycrossfire.com.
Exactly, mycrossfire.com.
Go under ministries and find Rescue Riders.
And you'll even find the Facebook link there as well.
Right.
So there's tons of ways to get a hold of me, message me. You can bug Aaron here, but he probably won't answer you. But
All right.
Lots and lots of ways.
So now we have an event coming up September 13th. And so this event is for you. We would love to have you a part of this. If you ride, if you just want to ride along, we'll let you drive as long as you stay back. We'll let them ride along in their
Right.
car if they want.
Right.
But what we do is we meet at our South Eugene church at between 9 and 10 o'clock. There's a free breakfast there. Meet at between 9 and 10 on September 13th at South Eugene.
Yes.
Now, the motorcycles are going to be welcome to park inside the building, all along the back. And at the appropriate time, we'll all start them up and ride them out. Or you're welcome to park outside. Gives chance for common day, common folks to come in and see your bike and, get her all shined up and clean, or some people are proud of them being dirty, but bring them on in. And we're going to have a worship time at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. on September 13th. And then we're going to have a time of ministry in the Word. And then directly following that, we're going to light them up and drive over here to Springfield, the Springfield campus. We're going to do it all over again. And we'll ride our bikes right into the main auditorium. And then we're going to have our fellowship time here. And then after this, plan is to go on a ride and then join with, I believe it's Clean and Sober has an event going on, and lunch and some different things like that. The only cost to you will be lunch. Provide your own lunch either at Clean and Sober or at a restaurant. And we're just going to have a great time. Encourage you to go to our website. This will be on the rotator where you can see. Go to Rescue Riders if you have questions. And I know that Kevin Morley will be happy to talk with you about it. We would like to have everyone September 13th to just flood this place, fill it with bikers, and let us have a great time. and I know it'll be just an enjoyable time for people to get together and invite your friends who may not know be Christians that want to go on a ride, and they can come to either or both campuses. The hardcore guys will go to both, and the rest of you can come to either one. But we will be having a time of fellowship in the afternoon and going on a good ride. And so I think it's going to be a great, great time. Right. And I'm excited about it. Tell me a little bit about your experience of some of our rides in the past.
Yeah, I mean, some of these services in the past have turned into just, spirit-filled times at the altar besides the ride, where people have had their lives changed. And it's just a terrific opportunity to meet and greet new friends, new riders, even people that don't ride. Like Aaron said, the ministry isn't about just one percenters or just other riders. It's being able to reach out and build relationships with everybody. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just what we hope to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, tell us a little bit, Kevin, about, we'll come back and talk about the Motorcycle Sunday again here at the end of the program. We've got a few more minutes, and can you tell us a little bit about your own testimony, how you, I wish I could tell you about how in fact, I had people come up, hey, my dad used to ride with you and you were back with the Angels, and I've never ridden with the Hells Angels. I've never ridden with an outlaw biker gang. I may look the part, but I'm not, and so I don't have this, big bad biker. I enjoy riding. I was a drug addict. I have a testimony of all that, but motorcycles weren't really a part of it. I started riding when I was 3 years old, dirt bikes. I rode dirt bikes my whole life. I got a street bike, enjoyed that a few different times. The last 10, 15 years or so, I've had a street bike and enjoyed riding. But I work and I'm in ministry all the time, so I get to ride very little. Right. But tell us a little bit about your own testimony, and you've got some health challenges and issues. You mentioned being disabled. Whether it's motorcycles or just the disabled aspect, it might reach out to some of our viewers that are struggling themselves and in doing their ministry, their calling, and even just living their life.
Right. So, I mean, kind of like you, I started out young. First bike was a little Honda 50, and I always called it my Hells Angel bike. I was only 5 when I got it, and because it had the wing on the tank. But I grew up from there. I had plenty of chances to join Free Souls or Hells Angels, either one. They were parts of family members that I rode with constantly growing up. And but it was a part of a lifestyle. I was raised in church. My dad was a pastor, musician, and it just wasn't something that fit in my life.
Praise Jesus, really.
Yes. I mean, yeah, things could have been worse by far. And on the other side of it, I was born with a gene disorder, and so I have right now 7 different life-altering diseases. A couple of them are life-threatening. The one I fight with the most is probably my heart. Obviously, I can still stand up and still put my leg over the bike and ride where I want to go. But I may not be
sing like nobody's business. I'm telling you.
And I may have trouble when I get someplace walking 20 feet inside the door, because sometimes the ticker just doesn't work like it should anymore. But I just look at it as God gave me everything I've got to this point, and as long as I'm still up and able to ride or walk or have input, I'm going to push Jesus into people's lives. So. Amen.
So you've had some pretty major heart surgeries, that's correct?
I have.
And I know that because I've been there with, you've had some. But what are they looking at for the future right now with your own physical issues?
Well, right now they think that a stent they put in 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago, has collapsed a second time. If that's the case, hopefully I'll know shortly, they're going to go in and do an open heart, open chest bypass. While they're there, though, I have 3 septal defects or holes in between the chambers of my heart. They'll attempt to fix those, and I have 2 bad valves. My tricuspid and my aortic valve are both messed up. So it'll be a pretty major operation if they have to do that. So far, everything I've had done, they've been able to do through angiograms. And but this operation, if they do it, I mean, it would be significant. They'll take my heart out, put it on top of my chest, and cut it open and go to work, and then paddle it back to start when they get it put back together.
It's amazing what they can do
Yeah.
these days. And I know there's some that are against doctors and surgeries and, those things. I know God does miracles. I also know that we are called to do whatever we can.
Yes.
And whatever the doctors can do, I think we should be able to do and have done at the time. And even in that, we just trust God.
Right.
Do the best we can, trust God, and whatever eternity holds for us. And whenever it starts, it truthfully starts when we accepted Jesus.
That's
So
right.
when I accept Jesus, my eternity starts, whether I ride a bike or don't ride a bike.
Yep.
People say, I don't think you should be on that motorcycle. Well, I think we should be careful. I think we should be cautious.
Right.
But I'm not going to amend my life doing the things I enjoy because I might die. I'm not that afraid of dying.
Right.
I've got kids. I'm concerned about them. I've got a church. I got responsibilities. I got a calling. I'm going to stay as long as I can. But at the same time, I'm going to enjoy the things that I can enjoy and
Right.
do the things God's called me to do.
Yep.
So, with the heart, what other things are we dealing with? You said there's a couple major.
I have an advanced rare form of psoriatic arthritis. Literally, I mean, you talk about needing doctors. If I go a day without taking my pills, my knees start to swell up like watermelons. And that kind of stuff is crippling. And I have degenerative bone disease, degenerative disc disease in my back. I mean, it's just I have type 2 diabetes. I'm bordering to type 1 now. So, I mean, things can stack up pretty quickly, but you can dwell on that, though, and stay in the bottom, or you can just say, here I am, Lord, use me, and go
do
with
your
it.
best to be used by the Lord.
Exactly.
So can you tell me then, with that kind of issues and challenges,
Right.
where do you believe that, does God love you?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, why would he let this or cause this to happen to you?
Well, I don't believe ever that he causes these types of things to happen.
And I don't either. I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit, I guess.
Right. I'm not sure what his plan is. I don't think anybody really knows. I think we'd be scared to death and freaked out if we knew what his plan was for us.
Right.
At times, anyway. And so, I mean, God actually completely healed me. I didn't have to take a pill. My heart was normal. Everything showed normal for 3.5 years. That was 5 years ago now. And minus the one stent that they'd already put in me.
Right.
But, for whatever reason, I started having problems again, and now I have it all back, and with a vengeance, it seems. And
So let me ask you this.
I can tell you this. Every
Yeah.
time that I've had something diagnosed that there's an issue, doors have been open for me to witness to people every time. This last time around, after I thought I was healed for good, it turns out that my nurse, when I went back to the clinic for the first time in years, my nurse was in a bad relationship. We spoke with her for a good half hour after my appointment in the hallway about Jesus, and she began coming here. She's now out of that relationship, married, and loves God. Her whole family does now.
Wow.
So, I mean, you never know why you go through things, but if somebody's life gets changed because I'm having to go through something, then
So
great.
let me ask you this. You said it's a gene disorder.
Yeah,
a lot
chromosomal
of this.
gene.
Chromosome. So let me ask you this. If I was to say it was caused by sin, would you agree with me?
No.
Okay. So let's argue now.
Okay.
So I don't believe it's God's best.
Right.
I believe that not necessarily you sinned, but I don't believe that anything short of God's best physically is God's best. I think that
Right.
it is caused by sin. It may be passed down from generation to generation. obviously, but God created us perfect.
Right.
But sin entered in and caused deformities, issues, things. And then God still has the ability to work out the very best.
Yeah.
But we were meant to live, and these bodies were meant to regenerate and live forever. And yet, because of sin, our physical body is going to die. Death
Right.
entered in right then. So I feel like, yes, you are dealing with this because of sin. It may not be
Right.
your sin. It might be the sin of a polluter. It might be the sin of something you ate that somebody did and caused death. But death was entered in by sin. So
Right.
now that explanation, do you believe that this was caused by sin?
Yes.
So it wasn't caused by God,
Right.
but God takes and turns the table on the enemy, even though we live in an environment where our physical bodies are affected by sin.
Yeah.
Yet we have the ability to overcome and conquer. And even if our physical body dies, we are secure in Christ Jesus for eternity.
Right.
So that's my little take on that. So
Right on.
But that being said, are you angry at God over it?
No, I can tell you that there are times that I've dealt with enough pain or enough other issues that I've gotten frustrated to the point that my prayers get a little loud,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But I'm not angry with God. I mean, he obviously has me here for a reason.
Right.
In the space that I'm occupying, he's here with me. So everything I'm going through, he's going through with me.
And man, it
You
doesn't
know?
take long to look around and find people who are dealing with things similar or even worse than what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And, it's hard to shake your fist at God and say, God, why me? When you know that one, he's secured our eternity.
Yeah.
And whatever we go through it's not like what he went through.
Right.
And it's not what a lot of other people go through. So I don't say that to belittle. That we pray and we walk with you through these things and
Right.
believe that God can overcome them and heal them, whether
Yeah.
that's in this body or the life to come. Healing is in your future.
Right.
Healing is in my future.
I believe
and,
that.
and I like it. Now I tell you, as I grow older, my knees, my feet, my elbows, my shoulders, my back, my aching back, and I'm
Yeah.
relatively young. I got some people that are a little older laughing.
Right.
I had a meeting yesterday with a guy who's 97 years old. I can't imagine making it to 97 years old.
Yeah.
And he's still got a ministry. And he was going around to church trying to get us. We wanted to put up these big banners for Easter and proclaim Jesus loudly. And he's just on fire at 97.
Right
I
on.
hope that if I'm here, which I'm not sure I want to be here till 97, but if
Yeah.
I'm here, I want to make sure that I'm the kind of person that's saying, hey, I'm going to rush the gates of hell by storm. I'm going to empty
Right.
out, hell and what the enemy thinks he can do by manipulating people and win them to Christ through the truth of the gospel. That is
Right.
my heart. That's my desire.
Right on.
So we got just a few more minutes. There's going to be a little bit of there's some commercials and stuff about the Biker Sunday. Let's say it one more time. September 13th,
Yes.
we have Motorcycle Sunday. It's going to be right here at Crossfire. Now, there's 2 Crossfire campuses. So we're going to start at the South Eugene. That's 4060 West Amazon for South Eugene property. And there's free breakfast. It starts at 9, between 9 and 10. There'll be free breakfast. You can park your bikes right inside the back of the church. We'll line them up. We put a lot of bikes here.
Yeah.
And not so many at South Eugene, but it's a big building. We'll fill
Yeah.
it full of bikes. Whatever, it's first come, first serve. Whatever doesn't fit, we'll have them outside. As soon as that, we'll eat breakfast. We'll do some worship, have some testimonies, a little bit of a ministry and service, and then we're going to light them up. Come over here, do it again over here at Springfield, so you can come to one or both. We'd love to have you come to both, but if not, this service starts here at 10:30.
Right.
We'll be here around 11:30 or so. And so come here at 10:30, start here, or go over there at 9:30 or so and start there. all this information is on our website at mycrossfire.com. Afterwards, we're going to go out and eat. There's a big event that some of us will be going to, Clean and Sober. We're going to go on a ride of some sort and fashion. So we'd love to have you come and just spend Sunday, September 13th. It's kind of the end of the season for riding for all the softies, all the people who only ride when the weather's good, fair weather riders.
Right.
That'd be like me, because I ride when weather's good. I don't like those pelting in the
Right.
face. And I'll ride if I have to, but I like to keep it when it's nice and cool. By the way, I get an opportunity to go. I've ridden in Hawaii. I've ridden in the Philippines. I've ridden in Africa on multiple countries. I was thinking about all the places I've ridden motorcycles around the world. Now it's like a challenge. I mean, every
Right,
time I
right.
get to go on a missions trips, I'm looking for somebody's bike to borrow. So anyway, but I get some opportunities here. My wife and I's anniversary, we're going to go on a ride, and we're so excited about it. And so it's, it's fun. It's a fun
Yeah.
thing.
It is.
So if you'd like to join with some common riders, you don't have to belong to Crossfire or our church. We don't want to pull you away from your church. But if you have a friend who enjoys riding and maybe never gets the opportunity to ride, we would love for you to come and join us September 13th, especially you that don't go to church, or if you're watching, you know somebody who doesn't go to church. It's a great time to bring them in and get them involved in the family of God and in this ministry. Rescue Riders, we'd love to have you get more involved. Thank you for watching today's ministry forecast. Hope that you you enjoyed this, but also hope that you were edified, that you were built up as you listen to the testimonies of Kevin and also what's happening here in Lane County. Thank you. If you have anybody or any ministry, any event going on in Lane County, and you'd like to be here on the ministry forecast, please let us know at the information at the end of the program, as well as you can contact me at mycrossfire.com. Thank you.